And
right.
then Dennis has never seen any of the movies any of them have been in. So
I know. That was the best part.
I the bold strat, because like I lie about seeing certain movies, and I've had to have a conversation with myself where I'm like, I gotta be better about this.
Yeah.
The bold strat to double down and just be like, you know what, man, it's just been a long time.
Yeah. Like, just, it's okay if you haven't seen it.
It's worse that you keep saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. We can forgive you. Like, it's not like we're going to hold it over you. Like,
What was the movie that I said I'd never seen? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm
yeah.
like, I've never seen it. Just haven't
It's
seen
like,
it.
whoa, that's crazy. You should watch it. And then that's the end of it.
Done. But
Literally,
if I
like,
would have
never
watched
think
it
about it
and I
again.
said, no, you guys literally have never thought about that.
No. Yeah, but like I know that Denny lies about watching movies. Period.
Every movie,
Like,
every movie that's ever been made.
and you know what? All he has to say is, "I'm not a big movie guy,"
Yeah.
and it'd be fine.
Oh, it's kind of douchey to say that, but it is the perfect cop out.
Yeah.
Like that's literally all you have to say is just, you know what, guys, I just don't watch, or I just watch like the same movies all the time. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
Easy.
Was that the witty banter?
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
Okay. Well, I have like stuff I can say.
No, it's fine. We'll figure it out.
You're lost, man. Kind of like big news.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Smalls, back on All Purpose Garbage, a college football show for idiots. Here with our season finale with my guy, idiot number 2, Deke. How's it going, man?
I just love football.
Love football. And hold
No, I
on
did
to it
miss this
now.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did miss this show for the past 2 weeks. I'll give you that. I never thought I would miss college football.
Yeah. But hey, man, I guess you just love me. That's what I got out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You take it however you want to take it. I'm not
Okay.
mad at it.
All right. Nice.
Probably accurate, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so we have been on kind of a hiatus just because there wasn't a ton to talk about. I feel like we would have been stretching a little bit.
Would have been picking some different bowl games.
Yeah, exactly. But we are back now. This is our season finale. Deke, thoughts on season 1?
I think we're geniuses.
Yeah.
By far the biggest college football fans on the bench. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's tough to root for schools when you didn't go for them, but you know, I've watched Josh and Greg pretend to like teams that they haven't gone to for years now, so I knew exactly what to do. And I will say I'm probably more ready for the NFL draft at this stage than I ever have been.
Boom.
Which is pretty early. I was doing mocks today, so
there you go. Yeah, we're not even done with college football yet. You know,
we're not done with anything. And
yeah,
I'm doing mocks. I don't even know the draft order.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. That's impressive. So you're a much bigger college football fan now than you were at the start of the year.
I think I found ways to make college football as fun as the NFL. It's probably most likely just because of the show.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I brought that to you. I'll take full credit for that.
Cry after
places. That I'm sure that's fun for the outsider. Not fun for me, but fuck that. Yeah, it's been a good year though. Well, we've talked about a ton of shit. Thank you for hopping on here with me and doing, jumping on this wagon with me. Talking football and being idiots. So, Deke, cheers. I don't know if you're drinking anything, but
I'm not. There's no alcohol at my parents' house. I'm in my parents' back room doing the show tonight. So, cheers.
Cheers. And Happy New Year. So, we are going to jump right into it. I think the biggest story, obviously, never had bowl games canceled. So this is the first. 5 so far, and I'm expecting more. I just don't know which ones. Hawaii Bowl, Military Bowl, Fenway Bowl, Arizona Bowl, Holiday Bowl. Overall, I think the Holiday Bowl was probably the biggest deal. But none of these are like big name bowls, which is probably why they got canceled. But it's kind of crazy that we're even here right now, and I never thought that I would see bowl games getting canceled like this.
Yeah, and I think that it's notable. Obviously, the Arizona Bowl was the Barstool Bowl, and they had the lead singer of Creed performing at halftime.
Which would have been incredible.
I'm a little upset about that one, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. But yeah, like you said, it's interesting to see these bowl games get canceled. A lot of the players had, like, I forget who it was. It was somebody from Utah or something, like one of the five. But they had their family fly the whole way across the country and get there, and then the bowl. It's so much, and it sucks. I know that they're trying to fill in as many of the bowl games as they can due to COVID. So they're obviously giving teams like Rutgers a bowl game, which is crazy to me. And other ways to try to work around it. But honestly, the funniest. Funny, I need to stop using funny in terms of this shit, but the most impactful thing about this is probably the safest year to only have 4 teams in the college football playoffs, because if they would have had 8 this year, probably would have had one of them canceled or some crap.
Yeah, that's true. What's also crazy is the fact that, these bowls started getting canceled and everyone's starting to sweat a little bit. And then which team was it? I think it was UCLA. They went to fucking Disney World like the day before. Like they were there like at the theme parks just having a blast. Like meanwhile their bowl was about to get canceled, and it did get canceled. Holiday Bowl got canceled. So like it's like, dude, come on, like just wake up a little bit, look around a little bit, see what's going on. But
just trying to enjoy life before their game gets canceled.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. I'm shocked that some of these have still been played. Like I'm surprised because who was it today? Virginia Tech and Maryland played earlier today in the Pinstripe Bowl. I'm kind of surprised New York didn't shut that down. They kind of let that one go.
Yeah, they've been so weird about it, especially with the NBA and like the Kyrie Irving situation. They've been super close to the chest in terms of what they allow in their state. So that's one that I feel like could have been canceled and they wouldn't have batted an eye at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, it is weird. They canceled the Fenway Bowl, which I don't even know there was a Fenway Bowl. So, like...
They just had to have one because there was a Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah, pretty much. The Hawaii Bowl, that was heartbreaking because I love watching that. I do remember watching that on Christmas Eve a few times, where it was always Hawaii versus someone else, like pretty much every year. So
there's something special about throwing a bowl so that your team gets to a bowl.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Houston. Really one of the only I would say notable score lines here. Houston put Auburn below 500.
Which I love the way you word that.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it so much better.
Yeah, and I said at the beginning of the year, new coach, I think Auburn definitely had some talent, and they're going to be fine moving forward, but I did not think, same thing with Texas, I didn't think that either one of these schools was going to just turn it around with the first-year head coach. So I think it's only fitting that Auburn finished below 500.
Yeah, I do think it's funny. Weren't they were ranked, was it 13th at one point, decently high?
Yeah.
Whatever they're ranked, obviously they've been a name on our tongue for so long here, and to finish the season below 500 unranked feels like the epitome of this show. Like a team that we continuously kind of talked about just based on Penn State playing them and a couple other bigger names using them as kind of a litmus test. They ended up being crap.
Yeah, they didn't. They looked so good, though. That's the thing.
They looked good against Penn State. I'll say that out loud.
Well, and they look good against a lot of other teams. I just kind of feel like they fell apart, and Bo Nix was Bo Nix, And Bo Nix is also at Oregon now, which is kind of wild. That was a piece of news that dropped while we were gone. But yeah, which is weird that just almost doesn't seem right. Because
he had the picture of him as a kid.
Yeah, his dad played there. Like,
yeah, that was like the whole storyline.
Yeah, I don't know, but strange. Houston, I do think Houston's pretty good. Which I think not that Cincy needs their resume boosted at this point, but it only helps Cincy's case that they were included. So, the SEC, Deke, 0-4 so far in bowls.
Not good. Florida's kind of like.
Florida sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Florida sucks. I have that as another note.
But for them to lose to UCF, who, don't get me wrong, I like UCF. They won a national title in 2014 or something. They're not a bad program, but they're definitely supposed to be the smaller school in the Florida. Florida's supposed to be one. And then you can go Florida State and then
Miami.
Whoever else you want to go. Yeah,
Miami those State. I would say those three. And
but
then
Florida's not supposed to be losing to UCF.
No. No, absolutely not. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But I mean, Auburn losing. I think Auburn actually played a much better team, so I'm not shocked that they
Yeah.
lost. Mizzou. I don't even remember who Mizzou lost to. Mizzou's kind of
Mizzou lost to
irrelevant.
Army 24-22 in the Armed Forces Bowl.
Army, that's right. And then yeah, Tech just beat the fuck out of Mississippi
Dude,
State.
Tech destroyed Mississippi State.
Yeah, that was a wild one. Like I think they ended the year like 1-3, 1-4, and
Yeah.
like with an interim head coach, and so I don't. Maybe Mississippi State just didn't even want to be there. That almost kind of what it
It's
looks
kind of what
like.
it felt like. They just wanted the season to be over.
Yeah, yeah. They had a tough go of it this year. They had a lot of things not go their way, which sucks. I think they could have been a 9-3, 10-2 team, but like they got fucked on Memphis, and then whatever game it was near the end of the year where Leach basically said we're having open tryouts for kickers.
Oh yeah.
So like they had a pretty tough season.
Here's the thing: I will never go against Coach Leach.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
tough season.
yeah. He kind of got digged on. The best conference so far, the Mountain West. Not that anyone really
Love
cares,
this.
but it's just kind of funny, like looking against the SEC compared to the SEC. It's just kind of funny seeing the Mountain West being 5-1. Not that they've really played anyone. Like San Diego State's good. Wyoming, shout out LSS. They won me
They were
money.
down big to Kent.
Were they?
They were at a. I thought they were maybe
Maybe like
early.
early because I remember tuning in pretty late, and I had money on Wyoming covering.
So I think they went up 14-0 because it was 14-7 at the end of the first.
Okay.
And then Wyoming put 14 up the next two and then 17. So I think they were just up 14-0 when I looked at first. I
Mm-hmm.
could be wrong on that, but I remember because I didn't want to text Josh just in case.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Utah State don't care. Fresno State don't care. Hawaii, that's sad. Nevada and Air Force. Air Force won. Not that Louisville was that great, but Air Force that was a pretty good
Oh,
win. But Mountain
yeah,
West,
it's First Responders Bowl, baby.
yeah, not bad. Yeah, mad respect for those first responders. We already talked about it. Florida sucks. I think we can just kind of move
They're
on.
so bad.
And then we're starting to see this every year now, but notable players are just opting out for the draft. I think it totally makes sense. You can't fault these guys for it. It sucks. Like as a fan, it sucks. You know, you can't fault the guys for doing it, but it just kind of sucks.
I think what sucks for because you listed two very similar but very different names here with Kenny Pickett and Jahan Dotson. Kenny Pickett, there is nothing he can do in my mind in this game. Like maybe he goes out and beats Michigan State in such a commanding fashion that he goes ahead of Matt Corral, or he comes out and just flounders and he stays the same or whatever. But I feel like most people have it solidified if they're a Corral guy or a Pickett guy by now. I
Yeah.
don't think there's not really much Kenny can do to change his stock. Whereas for me, I don't think he should play, but I do think there's a lot that Jahan Dotson could have done in the
Mm-hmm.
Penn State game to
Oh
raise
yeah.
his stock.
Yeah.
So as much as they're both correct, they're both amazing talents, they both should sit out. I do think that there is bigger upside for Jahan Dotson if he wanted to play in this game.
I think that's a fair point. I think they're already kind of projecting him what like high second, yeah, like high second
Yeah.
round, low first round, right?
Yeah,
Like
the projections, because the wide receivers are still pretty open. I mean, Drake London's been getting some buzz, even though he's been hurt, obviously. You got Jamison Williams at Alabama. You got Hearns at Arkansas. So Dotson, he's actively in the mix. But the thing we're seeing year in and year out with wide receivers is a couple go super high and then around the second round. So my guess is that there will be a floodgate open around halfway through the second where we'll
yeah,
see a lot of these names go.
yeah. Trying to think if there are any other big names that are kind of. I know there are, but at this point, it's all just every time I see like a notification pop up that a guy's sitting out for a bowl game, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, there's not too many. I mean, the only guys that really shouldn't, there's only two types of people that should probably not sit out: guys in the playoffs
yep,
and guys that are not a notable draft name. Like,
yep.
there's probably some guys that are going to guarantee get drafted that might opt out just to stay healthy, and that's fine. But these types of bowl games are an opportunity to play with your friends one last time, but also to raise your draft stock. The combine is another great way to do that, though. So if these players don't want to do it, they're playing. totally justifiable.
Yeah. Penn State, so far, we have 6 guys out that have opted out. So
Will Clifford be the guy though? That's quarterback.
yeah, so Clifford's staying.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they were. I assumed they were going to put him in at quarterback for this game, but I
I would
never heard.
imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Because I
imagine.
like that kid.
Who, Velu or Vayu? I still don't
Yes.
know how to say the name.
Yeah.
Like I've heard it both ways, but no, he's kind of a baller. That's gonna be a very competitive quarterback room here in a few years. But
Agreed.
Drew Aller coming in. I can't remember the other kid's name, but apparently, I think it might be Bo something. I forget it. Forget what his name is, but the other guy, also very good. Vayu proved that he can be serviceable and provide a spark. And then, I mean, Clifford is. I kind of want to move on. I'm not. I know it'll be good having these guys learn with
Like
them, but like,
6th-year senior.
yeah, I just kind of want them to move on. Selfishly, but
I don't blame you.
All right, let's head right into on tap.
Yeah. So I want to talk about for the 4 teams in the college football playoffs. Obviously, Michigan, Bama, Georgia, and Cincy. 2 names for each program that can come out and really, as we talked, there's a couple guys here that going into these 4 games have either solidified their draft stock, but there's some names out there still for all of these teams that I think this is a very big moment for them to push themselves up. So starting from Michigan here, a lot of people already have him as the number 1 pick. But I think Aiden Hutchinson really can define himself as the number 1 pick. Obviously, Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson, both play the same position. They are the 1-2 right now. It just comes down to a little bit of injury history and a little bit of leadership. For me personally, I have Aiden Hutchinson going 1 to the Lions if they end up at that spot. If it's the Texans, if it's the Jaguars, if it's someone else, it might be Kayvon Thibodeau. But I think with a couple good games, Aiden Hutchinson really is going to solidify himself as the number 1 pick. And the other player for Michigan, his partner, David Ajobo. He has been an absolute climber as well on the opposite end. He benefits because of Hutchinson's ability on the edge. And I think Ajobo will see himself taken in the high teens, early 20s, if that. High engine guy. And if Hayden Hutchinson is going to do well, that means Ajobo is going to do well as well. For Cincy, Sauce Ahmed Gardner. I love this dude at corner.
Sauce.
I think that he can really cement himself in a class that is good at corner, but still battling for the top guy right now. I like Booth up there. There's a couple other guys, but Sauce Gardner, Cincy defense, their defense has been their thing for recent memory. It'll need to be there. It'll need to step up. And then the other Cincinnati player that needs to raise his draft stock right now, for me personally, is Desmond Ritter. Ritter is a game manager right now. Ritter is a guy that not a lot of people are mad if their team drafts him, but not really a sought after guy. I think that going into the playoffs, he can really prove that he could be a late 1st-round pick in that Sam Howell type territory. For Georgia, I think the interesting thing here is who is the best defensive interior lineman in this class, and Jordan Davis has a chance to put himself ahead of Leo out of A&M. Georgia's defense is the biggest thing on their field. I do not like, honestly, a single thing about their offense in terms of the draft class. Just not a fan of it. So the other one there is Nakobe Dean, Georgia's linebacker. It's a pretty weak linebacker class outside of Lloyd out of Utah, who I really like. But I think Dean in here could cement himself as a high, probably in the 30s, maybe early 2nd-round pick here because linebacker is such a premium. And then the 2 names for Alabama for me, Jamison Williams and Christian Harris, another middle linebacker there with Harris. But Jamison Williams, we talked a little bit earlier, Smalls, about the wide receiver group in this class being a little bit who's the top guy, who are the big names. We've been spoiled the past couple of years with just some amazing talent coming out. I think Williams, a premier wide receiver, I don't think he's really the top guy. I think he is top 6 right now, maybe, when it comes to the names on the board. You have 2 out of Ohio State. You have Drake London, we talked about. You have Dotson. So Williams has a chance to put his name at the top tier of wide receivers if he has a couple good games here in the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, I think Ajobo and Hutchinson, that'll be crazy if they both go like top 15, which I think is a very real possibility. And I think it just goes to show that those guys were the game. They were the reason. No, they weren't the reason. Michigan's good for a lot of reasons, but they were one of the main reasons Michigan is in the playoff right now. Like they were dominant down the stretch.
Agreed.
Yeah, Jameson Williams. Not that I think he has a lot to prove necessarily, but yeah, there's just a lot of talent right now. I think a wide receiver.
Yeah, he's gonna get drafted. Whoever drafts him is
Yeah,
gonna be very happy with him.
yeah,
But is he better than Olave? Is he better than Wilson? Is he, you know what I mean? There's a
yeah,
class of guys here that we're still trying to weed out. Williams has the best chance out of all of them to prove who he is.
yeah. Absolutely. Love that. Great, great way to end the year on tap. Appreciate that, Deke.
You
Playoff preview. So we are going to talk about all these games here in a sec. But obviously we got the first game here, Alabama squaring off against Cincy. Cincy finally made it in. Or not even just Cincy. There's finally a team not in a Power Five conference that made the playoff, which is awesome. And we already talked about it. But to just set the table again, it's I'm so excited to watch Cincy at least try, and I think they're actually
Yes.
going to play pretty well. We'll get into it, but I think Cincy is not going to shit the bed. So, Georgia and Michigan, also a very intriguing game. I don't really know what to make of it just because Michigan is so hot, but I think that Georgia's the better team, so I'm not sure. But we'll get into it here in a sec. Um, Deke, I also want to point out that we have equal records, so we've
Thank
been
you,
neck
Greg
and neck
Miller.
all year. So, which is pretty impressive. We're still above 500, so we did a fucking good
That
job
is
this year.
actually a super impressive lot. Like that
Yeah,
is really something that I could not do if I actually put money on all of the bets.
yeah. That's the thing. We had no money on any of these, so you know. Um, so Deke.
And I'm pretty sure you took out of Vane a couple picks
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
for Penn State.
Oh
So
yeah. I was like, I'm gonna pick blind here. So and
I
whatever.
almost screwed you a couple times, but
Um. All right. First game, Cincy, Bama. I'm gonna go Bama here. But as I'll get into when I get into my bets, I think Cincy's gonna cover. I
mm,
think Alabama seriously is not the team that we're used to seeing. Yeah, they put a hurting on Georgia in the SEC
yep.
championship game. I think that's partly because Georgia just they can't get Bama out of their heads. They can't do it. I think and Saban will not overlook Georgia. I think
Yep.
Bama might be overlooking Cincy a little bit, at least enough for this game to be close. And I think Cincy's defense, especially their pass defense, is good enough to keep up with Bama. And Bama has no run game, period. So since he's gonna force them to run, and since his run defense is also decent, it's not top five in the country, but they're still good against the run. Their pass defense is definitely is that's what's going to keep Bama on the ground. And like I said earlier in the year, Bama's run game is not what it normally is. They had 6 yards on the ground the one game, so like it's going to be a lot closer than people think. And I think since he's going to cover, but I'm going to go with Bama here. I just don't know if since he has the firepower, they just don't have that it at the end of the game,
We talk about like you said, a non-power five. And every year there's a team that gets in aside from these two. And Alabama and Georgia, Clemson's normally there, but they were bad during the beginning of the year. The other one's notable: Florida State
Yep.
with Jameis, Oregon with Mariota, and then obviously Oklahoma with, I believe, Baker, and then Jalen.
Yep.
And it just, as much as I hope, as much as I pray, it just doesn't matter at Alabama, like against Alabama. So Alabama, here's what I will say. I do not think they should have. I still stand by this. Skip to Michigan. I believe Michigan should be the number one seed,
Mm.
but give me Alabama here against Cincy. I want to hope. I want to pray. I want to believe that Cincy can do it.
Yep.
But until I see it outside of the regular season with Georgia, or not with Georgia, who ended up beating Alabama this year? Wasn't it Miss
No, it was A&M.
A&M? Thank you.
Yep.
Outside of the fluke that Alabama has here and there, I don't see them losing to Cincinnati, but I sure do hope that we're both wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Cincy is better than what I'll say about the SEC is it's top heavy.
Yeah.
It's top heavy. At least this year, I think they have some decent teams, but clearly they're not playing well in bowl games right now. Like it's not the world beater conference that everyone thinks it is.
Yes.
They're top 1 or 2 conference for sure.
Give me the Mountain West every day.
Yeah, exactly. But when they still had a close game against LSU, which was shocking.
Yes.
Almost lost to Florida, which again might be a different story because at that time Florida thought that they were good, and there is such a thing as like thinking that you're good, equating that you actually being good. So that is sort of a thing. And at that point, Florida thought that they were good, and they were at the time. Still a close game, and Florida ended up being dog shit. So I don't think Alabama. They're just not the Alabama of old. I just don't
Fair.
see it. You know,
But the
like
absolute dog kicked in beating they put on Georgia before
that's the
the
thing.
playoff final, like,
And that's all it took. That's all it took. Committee's like, yep, #1 seed. And
there they
why
are.
wouldn't they? That's the thing. Like, why wouldn't they? Like, of course they were
Yep.
gonna do that. Like, you can't blame them. They beat the best. They beat the team that was clearly the best all year, and they fucking
Yep.
put a hurting on them. So,
And the best by like a wide margin too.
yeah,
If Georgia had just been #1, no one questioned it for the longest time.
yeah, no game was close. Clemson was probably their closest game before Bama.
Game 1, I remember
Yeah.
watching it down in Nashville, and I was
Yeah.
like, we are in for a very boring season, is how I worded it.
Yeah. All right, Michigan, Georgia. I don't really know. I don't really know where to go with this one. Michigan's got the hot hand.
Yes.
Georgia has an absolutely incredible defense. Get rid of the Bryce Young game. That's one game. I know that people are going to bring that up. Get rid of that game. This has been one of the best defenses we've ever seen. One of the best defenses to ever grace a college football field. Period. I think Georgia pulls it out, but I'm so torn on it. And this has nothing to do with my hatred of Michigan.
It surprises me because despite you hating Michigan, I assumed you would have pulled for them here.
Penn State fans have been talking about this since we knew that Michigan was going to be in the playoff. What do we do here? Because, like I said, I'm not unlike a lot of other Penn State people. Everyone fucking hates Michigan, like almost more than Ohio State, if not in my case, definitely more.
Well, I believe that because Ohio State feels a little bit farther away. Michigan feels like they think they're Ohio State, but they're never Ohio State.
That's the thing. Like in Ohio State, it's always like, yeah, we can talk all the shit we want, but they're gonna beat us most years. They have. Michigan, it's just back and forth. So we're on the same plane as Michigan. It's just like, I don't know, they're just fucking terrible. So do we put on our Big Ten hat here, or do we say fuck these guys? Go Georgia. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I tossed that thought process out because I was like, I don't. That has nothing to do with this, and I just think Georgia's slightly better. I don't think it'll be a hardball choke. I don't think it'll be a classic hardball choke. I think Georgia will just be the better team.
It sucks so bad because we both would rather have Cincy and Michigan in there.
I know.
I keep going back, man. It like, don't get me wrong. I think the game that proves what I'm about to say wrong is Michigan versus Ohio State. But Michigan losing to Michigan State still speaks so loudly to me.
Yep.
That I'm going Georgia, man. It's just like, I don't want this to be it because we all know Kirby shits the bed against Alabama, and so we're seeing a script that we've seen before. Is what
I know.
But I just, as much as I like Michigan, as much as I have Hutchinson and Ajabu as like two of the best. I mean, Ajabu's earning him. He's getting up there with Kayvon.
Yeah,
like, he's getting recognition. The problem here is that Georgia is just different.
Yeah, I know. as much as I will rave about Big Ten defenses, Michigan ain't. They haven't played anyone like this.
No.
This is on a new level. So I don't know. Like it's going to be close. I do think it's going to be close because
Yes.
Michigan has firepower, especially on the
I think
ground.
both games will be.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and Georgia. Yeah, Georgia can put up points. It's not their offense that made their name, but they can put up points. I was hesitant. I didn't end up taking it. I don't think, but I thought about taking the over in this game because everyone would think that this would just be an under game 100%. I don't know. Like I this is going to be a game that no one's going to really know what's going to happen. You
No, I
know?
think they're both under games in my mind, but at the same time, I don't know anything. Like
It's a thing.
what I
Like
know today is going to be different when I wake up tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah. All right. So, what we're going to do next, we're going to pick our champ.
I don't want to.
Neither do I cuz I'm definitely going to be wrong.
I want to pick Cincinnati.
This one's tough. I'm going to go Georgia.
Yeah, that's fair and fine. I think that I hate to say that I'm going the number one team in the country now, but I think Alabama gets it again. And the reason is, dude, until Kirby Smart proves me wrong,
Yeah.
I can't pick him over Saban. I just can't.
Yeah, I get it. And I get it.
Like I hope I'm wrong on all of this.
Yeah,
I hope it's Cincinnati, Michigan, and Cincinnati wins.
it's one of those things where, and of course I know I'm falling for it. I get it, but I have a hard time
You
believing.
really are.
Yeah, like I have a hard time believing that Georgia would fall for the same trick twice. You know what I mean? But it's Saban. It's Saban, so it's probably gonna happen. You know what I
They'll come out
mean?
and have 300 rushing yards against Georgia in the final.
I know, and as much as I want, as much as I want Cincy to win, if Cincy were to make a national title game, that would be incredible. I think that would
Cincy
be,
just making the game that they win.
yeah, like
Like that's unbelievable for college football. And I think because we had this conversation about Cincinnati might need to be left out to prove they deserve to be in
yep,
next year. If Cincy makes it past Alabama,
yep,
I think you need 8 teams as well.
yeah,
Just because then it'll make Cincy not have to play easy teams every year and they can actually play somebody that matters and not
yeah,
have to get scared.
exactly. I think Cincy's good enough to put up a fight at the very least. I don't think
I
it'll
hope
be
so.
a blowout.
I hope
Um,
Ritter does enough to make us want him.
yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'd also be fine with Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't be fine with Matt Ryan. I don't want Matt Ryan. I saw that today. I was like, no fucking way.
I said that me and my dynasty group got in a discussion about it because we were basically talking about. I said that Baker's gonna get kicked off the Browns because they hate him, and then they're gonna bring in Matt Ryan. And the
Mm-hmm.
guy said, "Well, I don't want a quarterback that's like I don't want an immobile quarterback." And I was like, "Well, who's immobile?" And they started naming. He's like, "Well, recent ones like Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, blah blah blah." And I said, "Well, they all were immobile and then went to a team that was ready to win like Matt Ryan to the Browns." And
Yeah,
he got really pissed off. But hey,
yeah,
I think that I hope Matt Ryan finds a new team because that Atlanta team isn't bad.
yeah.
They just aren't win now by any stretch of the
Mm-hmm.
imagination.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go to New Year's Six bowls. I also threw in the Peach Bowl. It's not really a
Thank God.
New Year's Six bowl, but figured I'd toss it in there. Fiesta Bowl, Oklahoma State, Notre Dame. Um, I think Oklahoma State's gonna pull this one out. I really do. As good as Notre Dame is, and as cool as it would be to see Marcus Freeman kind of have that Cinderella story type feel where he comes in and just wins his first game as a Notre Dame head coach, I don't think it'll turn out that way. I think the Cowboys and Gundy both have a very bad taste in their mouth after losing to Baylor. And I think it'll be a game where Notre Dame kind of goes up, if not a little bit. If they go up big, I think State just crawls back. They somehow claw back and end up winning the game. So,
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Notre Dame, just in my mind, is not going to win with the new coach, despite how much we love a new
Yep.
coach winning games like this. And the fact that Oklahoma State lost by an inch, I have them all day. I think Oklahoma State comes out, and I don't think they destroy Notre Dame, but I do think this is a commanding Oklahoma State win.
Yeah. You know what sucks? Marcus Freeman might make me not hate Notre Dame, and I don't like that.
That's a scary thought because
I hate Notre Dame, but like that guy, I don't know, man. You almost want to root for him a little bit.
He's kind of cool. The video of him coming out was super cool.
Yeah, it sucks. I didn't want to see that. You know what I mean? Like that.
I wish that he was the worst.
Yeah, I want him to be the worst.
I want him to suck.
But I know he doesn't. He seems so cool.
No, not at all.
Like, Rose Bowl, Utah, Ohio State. I don't think this is even a fucking conversation. I think Ohio State blows the fucking brakes off Utah.
Yeah, I'm not following you, but I'm pretty similar there. I like Utah. I think Utah had a decent season. I like Devin Lloyd. We'll continue to praise him, but it's Ohio State.
Yeah. Utah's good. Don't get me wrong. They got some talent. They came on at the end of the year, but Ohio State really came on after everyone doubted them. And Michigan kind of, I don't want to say exposed them, but they embarrassed them. They caught them off guard. And I think Ohio State's going to come out and just fucking wreck them. Sugar Bowl, Baylor, Ole Miss. This is one of those games that Lane Kiffin, there are going to be a lot of Lane Kiffin questions because I'm going Baylor. It's going to be a big.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Does it sound
better if I change to that? Does that sound way better?
It sounds a lot better, yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, so I had it. I didn't realize that it was on the webcam, and now I'm on the microphone. Because I was just thinking to myself, I was like, I don't notice, like, I won't notice a difference. But okay, so sorry about that. The whole show is going to suck because of me. That was my question. Keep going about Baylor.
Okay. Baylor showed their stuff against Oklahoma State. Dave Aranda is a fucking hell of a coach. And I don't think Ole Miss are frauds. I just think that they had hype set them up for failure this year. It's going to take another year or two for the Lane train to kick in.
I almost agree with everything you're saying, but I'm going to go with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And the reason is that it's the same reason that I believed in all the guys that I named. Matt Corral needs to do something to try to cement himself as the pick because he is playing, right? I think he's playing. Yeah. I haven't heard that he wasn't.
Yeah.
If he's not playing, it's Baylor. But I think Matt Corral really has an opportunity here. And I think that he's, taking the time. He has a chance to be the first quarterback taken, as much as we all love and think it'll be Kenny Heisman. And Baylor had a great game against Oklahoma State. I think Baylor's a great team. I just think that Lane Kiffin has something to prove here, and I think that'll motivate him a little bit more. But I hope he does not say, get your popcorn ready.
God, he's nothing. He shouldn't have anything against Baylor. Like Baylor, It's not like it's him facing Saban. So he better.
The fact that Baylor still is a program and they're here after everything that went down for Baylor.
Very impressive. Well, that's what I'm saying. Dave Aranda is a fucking hell of a coach. And if you've watched them at all this year, they're kind of fucking good. They're really good, actually.
Very much so, yeah.
All right. Peach Bowl, again, not a New Year's Six Bowl, but had to toss in our guys from Pitt. I'm going Michigan State, however, because Kenny Pickett is sitting out, and I just don't. It's sad. I don't feel as bad because Kenny Pickett's the reason that I was kind of rooting for Pitt a little bit this year.
Yeah.
So, like, without him, I don't think they stand a chance.
Yeah, I'm not far from you. The news broke that Kaden Slovis will be transferring to Pitt, and I think that the interesting thing here is that Nick Patty, who is the redshirt junior, was going to go. So basically, the way Greg worded it was that he was intending Nick Patty to go in next season to be the starter. You come back with a Biletnikoff winner in Addison. You have your entire offensive line, a decent run game. This team is set up for not the same level of success, but a decent run next year. Like they should win 8, 9, 10, not 10 probably, but 8, 9. I think that Patty really has an opportunity now against a very tough Michigan State team where there's zero pressure on Pitt in my mind. I think the pressure's on Michigan State because they beat Michigan. Michigan's in the from an internal thing. Mm-hmm. But I think this is a chance for Patty to cement himself as the starter despite Slovis being transferred. That all being said, I believe Michigan State wins this game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, having the Blitnikoff winner is great. Jordan Addison, great fucking player. Not quite the same when you don't have a Heisman candidate thrown to you. And it's nothing against Addison. It's nothing against. He's a great quarterback. You're a great wide receiver. It's just not the same team.
No, not even close.
The only thing, so I didn't know I'm shocked that I hadn't seen it. Keaton Slovis transferring to Pitt.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Last time a USC quarterback transferred to Pitt was Max Brown, and that guy was kind of booty. So
Greg has PTSD from that. We talked about it on 2 Years Deep last week. My whole thing is that we thought Slovis coming into this season was going to compete as the top quarterback in the draft. Obviously, got benched halfway through the season, was terrible, but we also thought that about Rattler and Sam Howell. I think that Slovis has an opportunity to come into a Pitt team that got Kenny Heisman, and obviously not got him to where he is. He got them where he is, but combined together for that. I think that Slovis has a really nice opportunity, but the difference here is that Patty was supposed to be the guy, and I think can put up a decent fight here. We didn't really talk about, because there's another transfer we didn't chat about. So
what's
I don't know if you want.
What's that?
The Rat. He becomes a cock.
He becomes a cock. Yeah, what a fucking scumbag that guy is. Jesus Christ. Fucking I feel like that has to be the worst. That's like Kelly Bryant transferring to Mizzou. It's like the same caliber.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You're going to almost a bad school. I'm not gonna say that they're
chased
a bad
out.
School,
I like South Carolina. I like the Gamecocks, but let's be completely honest here. Spencer Rattler cannot hang, and it's that simple.
He can't. He just can't. And he also just kind of seems like a shithead. So,
yes.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Now he's a cock. So that kind of makes sense. All right. Mike Leach Award.
He couldn't get me a shrunken head, so I got a t-shirt.
All right, Deke.
Way Tech's done it. And I think anybody that recognizes what an outstanding place it is. Talia Tungabailoa to Daryl Jones.
So, if anyone's confused, what they were doing was they were interviewing the new head football coach at Virginia Tech, Brent Pry. Used to be DC at Penn State. Also, shout out Brent Pry. Fucking deserves that job.
Loved his letter he put out about linebacker U and all that stuff.
Oh, dude, no, Brent Pry is a good dude. Everyone's gonna fucking miss him. But he deserved a job. That's the thing. I'm shocked that he didn't get one earlier. But they were interviewing him during Maryland Tech, and if you've been off the internet for a year, this might not make sense. But the whole Castellanos deep drive to left, and that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. They just interrupted the interview, and it was the same shit. It was so funny, and I feel bad for Brent.
He's like, what an outstanding place it is to be, and it's gone.
Totally attack of a low.
I think that the deep drive to left field by Castellanos is the greatest call in sports history.
Well, yeah, it's partly because he was so calm. The way he said it was just, I don't know if I'll ever have a mic again, and it's a deep drive. He just flew right into it.
Hey, you always got to be ready. You're interviewing for the next job as soon as you're leaving your current one. So call the game.
That was tough for my guy Brent, though. And not his fault. It's just, what else are the guys going to do? Maryland ended up putting up 50-some points. They put up a 50 burger against Tech. It wasn't even close. Maryland looked good.
Tua's little brother ain't that bad. He's playing in Maryland, but...
Yeah, well, he had a tough go of it. I think Penn State's defense, and especially our secondary this year, was really fucking good. We made his life a nightmare when we played them. But outside of that game, he wasn't awful. He had some decent games.
Yeah, I think he'll go pro. He won't be a highly touted guy, but
he'll be a serviceable backup. Let me put it that way. I think he'll be decent.
But this is great.
Yeah. All right. Don't tell my bookie, the last one of the season. As I alluded to, Cincy Bama, I do think Cincy makes it a closer game than what Vegas is putting it out there to be. I think they cover 13.5. I think Bama wins, but I think Cincy's going to cover. I'm like 80% confident in that. Just because Bama could absolutely blow the brakes off of Cincy. But I do think Cincy is better than people are really giving them credit for, especially because they're playing in a conference that really isn't that bad. Tennessee, Purdue. Going over here just because Tennessee is 9-3 against the over this year, and Purdue has the dogs to keep up with them. And really, anytime I bet on the under, I pretty much lose almost every time. So give me the over at 65. Oklahoma State, Notre Dame. Taking the Cowboys here because, like I said, I think they have a bad taste in their mouth after their game against Baylor in the Big 12 championship game. And I don't think it'll be a happily ever after story for Marcus Freeman in his first game as Notre Dame head coach. I thought about taking the spread here because it was plus 2.5. I think money line just gives me better value, so I'm going to go with the money line here. And then I'm also taking Kentucky covering against Iowa at -3 just because Iowa fucking sucks. So Iowa's a bad football team.
Iowa beat Penn State, right?
Yeah, without Sean Clifford, and that's the thing. Like Penn State.
Here's what I'll say. I think we can agree Kentucky's good. That's how I'll word it.
Kentucky's good. I don't think Iowa's very good.
They're not.
I don't I
just
think
like them.
Very good. I mean, yeah, they wave at kids. That's cool, but like they're just not very good. What did I say what did I say at the beginning of the year? Iowa is good.
You hate kids.
No, I did not say that.
No,
I did not say that. I said Iowa's good when no one expects them to be. But
yes,
everyone thought that they were going to be good this year, and look at them now.
Bad. Yeah.
Their offense fucking stinks, dude. They're bad. I don't think they're a good football team at all.
I would take Kentucky as well.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. Their offense is like it's like the Steelers offense. So bad that it makes the defense worse because they're on the field so much.
They're on the field that much more.
And like that's Iowa's defense probably pretty good, but if you look at the stats, I don't think it shows it because they're on the field so fucking much because their offense sucks. So but yeah. So anyway, those are my picks. I feel pretty good.
I can't believe Cincy's 13.5.
What are you thinking that it'd be more or less?
Closer.
You think so?
I don't know.
See, this made sense to me. I saw this. I was like, this kind of makes sense.
I get it. It just, and they're probably gonna lose by fucking 40 at this point. It just, I don't know. I want it to be closer.
I know. Me too. That's why. Well, I think it will be closer. I'm just not shocked that this is the line. Like
fair.
Yeah. All right. Last time of the year. I don't even really want to do it, but Outback Bowl. Hashtag Razor Nutback. I'm still really going to miss Jahan Dotson, Brandon Smith, Ellis Brooks, Jaquan Brisker, Derek Tangelo. I feel like there's one more that I'm forgetting, but it's been a good year. Not really. It's been a pretty fucking sad year. But I'm going to miss these seniors because these were some of the, especially on the defensive side of the ball, one of the overall most talented groups I've seen in a while come through a Penn State locker room, especially on defense. And Jahan Dotson is just a god. And I will forever miss him. I've seen a lot of good Penn State receivers over the years. He is the best receiver I've ever seen play at Penn State. I will stand by that. I don't think we beat Arkansas because half our defense is opting out. I think we have 6 starters remaining, so I don't think I don't think it'll be a great game, but hey, it's the Outback Bowl. Let's get our bloomin' onion on.
It's all about next year. We're just looking for what's good for next year.
Yeah. What sucks is, and I get why he's doing it, because he was a fucking monster. Arnold Ebiketie. It's like the first time I've ever pronounced his name right. Transferred. I had no idea who this dude was. Deke, have you heard of this dude? Ebiketie?
No.
Okay, so transferred to Penn State from Temple this year. Hit the transfer portal. Came in as like an outside linebacker DN type.
Oh yeah. Wait. Oh no, he's not the guy that you said was small and they moved to.
No,
DE,
yeah,
right?
that's Lucetta.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool. My bad.
Ebiketie, he came from Temple, and just by all accounts, he came into the locker room, and everyone was like, "This dude's a dog." Like, absolutely just. And I saw you saw it the entire year. Like, he was just the guy that was making. He is a motor like no one else, and I thank God every day that he was too good to play at Temple. Like, that just makes me so happy that I was at least able to enjoy him for a year. And
Yep.
he opted out of the bowl to go to the draft. Totally makes sense, because I think he's gonna make he's gonna be a Jason Oweh type
Okay,
on the Ravens. Like, he's gonna be that sort
I
of.
love that.
He just has a fucking motor on him, and like, he's just so fucking good. He's gonna be a steal. Whoever gets that dude is gonna be a steal. But
I thought you were gonna say a Steeler. I was like, oh, let's go.
well, I wouldn't. Dude, if the Lures end up getting that dude, I will be. I'm sporting my new Friarmuth jersey tonight.
That is a clutch pickup for you.
Yeah, that was incredible. But if the Lures end up getting Ebiketie, I will forever. I think that might be my favorite Steeler of all time.
We can get tattoos.
I would totally get it, an Ebiketie and Arnie's tattoo for sure, without a doubt. All right. Well, that was the last PSU talk of the year. Deke, it's been a good year.
It has.
Appreciate you agreeing to hop on this stupid ass show with me.
For sure. Maybe we'll take the title and just turn it into our mock draft show.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. I haven't trademarked it yet, so you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Any news on the vault?
Me and Benny are talking.
Ooh, contract negotiations.
Yeah,
I like it.
late this week, early next week. I think at this point we both know that we want to come back. We knew that whenever we stopped, we didn't want to stop. It was just, hey, we got shit going on. Let's take a time out for just the fall. At this point, there are a lot of, I think, on my end, just personal stuff that I'm working through. So timing is everything, but we know we want to bring it back. We're already talking through some ideas and, possible guests, which we already had a fucking big one lined up. Before we
Jahan Dotson?
God, I hope so. It'd be sick, right? It's for sure coming back. It's just a matter of when, and I don't think it won't take long to. At this point, we have everything set up. I think we'll just need to fine tune a few things and just hit the ground running with some new topics. But yeah,
one bit of an update that you are now the second person hearing about this. This is probably not a good thing. Just to warn you before you get excited. I started watching back some of Thoughts on the Venture shows, and in 2022, Smalls, we are going to have, to help our Movember campaign, we're going to have a swear jar.
Oh, no. When was that decided? It wasn't on this fucking show.
No,
I guarantee it wasn't on this show.
There was a show where I decided, after watching it, that there was too much swearing by someone, and instead of having conversations about swearing less, just implementing a swear jar. It's 100 bits of swear word.
Can I ask who is swearing?
Oh, we all fucking swear a ton.
Oh, I know. I fucking swear a ton. But like,
Well, that's the nice thing is tomorrow I'm going to announce it live. So obviously, if you're watching the show, you know now I'm going to announce it. So Greg is the only other person that knows. So we'll announce it live on air that there will be a swear jar for all thoughts on the bench. I'm going to have HR department put out a video about it, but there will be a swear jar, 100 bits per swear word. And we'll try to tally that up.
For how long?
Until we get it fixed.
Who is doing it?
Oh, everyone. Everyone. We just say fuck a lot, man.
I know I'm probably one of the biggest culprits.
But I've been a bad influence because I'm getting Greg to swear a ton and Austin and Vo, and it's just, Well,
I feel like I've sworn from day one.
So have I.
Yeah.
But you and I, it's not a punishment. It's an opportunity for us to raise some money. So if you swear starting on the 1st, so tomorrow is the last show where you can swear without being charged. Maybe we might start it off smaller than 100 bits, but we will have a Thoughts from the Bench swear jar.
Oh my God. You realize that the vault is coming back.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been that way since day one.
Good luck with that, man. A Thoughts from the Bench swear jar. Once you hit certain fine limits, there will be punishments, and I'm excited to share them.
I'll keep that in mind.
Thoughts from the Bench is for the kids.
Ah, okay.
We're for the kids now. Because like Iowa, we love children.
You love children. Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, this has been All Purpose Garbage, the college football show for idiots season finale. Appreciate everyone tuning in. What is that?
I don't know if I can wink with my left eye.
You kind of look like you were like having a stroke a little bit.
It's hard to wink without opening your mouth.
I mean, I can. You can't really tell, but
I was gonna say bullshit shit.
But appreciate everyone watching all season long. It's been a pleasure talking about fucking college football and being a moron at the same time. Just being a dumb sports fan is the best. Deke, it's the fucking best. So appreciate everyone. Deke, we out.
Fucking out.
Fucking out.